Bim! Guess what? It's 8 o'clock. It is Thursday, so I can't get my head around this. And it is my brand new news programme, of which I've done many. But this one is Midweek News Update and Opinion. And have I put the date on it as well? I've put the right date on it. No, I haven't. I've not changed the date. Oh dear. Let's change the date on that. Oh dear. 6th, isn't it? Yeah, 6th. There we go. So, it is the 6th of February already, and we are looking at the news for the last 7 days. Slightly modified it a little bit so it's not as long, because it does drag out a bit. And I'm going to podcast this as well at some point, but for the time being it is just on the YouTube. So, shall we look at what the news is about this week? He says like some kind of robot, some AI. More about AI later on. Or not. Or will be. Or won't be. Dependent. Cat's here. Watch out for the cat. She does interrupt things on a regular basis. If you want to join in the chat, feel free. That's what it's there for. And obviously if you're listening to this or if you're watching this later on, can you actually hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Then by all means feel free to comment in the comments section. You can also share, like, subscribe, etc, etc, etc. You can read all that up there if you can be bothered. So the top story of the week. Well, there's only one person for the top story of the week this week. Donald Trump. I mean, he is a top story, isn't he? So where do you begin with Donald Trump? I mean, literally, where do you begin? The guy is... I mean, you could say things about him. What you've got to admit is he does get things done. He basically is doing exactly what he said he would do, which is rather refreshing. Some of these British politicians that we have over here could do with making note of that one. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? What he's doing is bonkers. So, he's announced on Friday, the 31st of January, 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico and 10% on goods from China. And this was going to begin the following day. And he's also threatening the EU with more tariffs. So, you're like, okay then. Yeah, America first, get that. We could do with the UK first Prime Minister, that'd be nice, rather than everyone else in the UK last Prime Minister that we've currently got. You could also say that maybe putting tariffs on things from places like China is good, but I don't get the Mexican and the Canada one. But apparently there's lots of drugs like fentanyl, etc., being smuggled over the borders, so he wants those countries to stop it. So it's not really to do with trade, it's more to do with securing the borders, obviously, for the illegal migrants or aliens, as he calls them, coming in from Mexico, and the drugs coming in from Canada. Trump on Saturday, the 1st of February, then orders strikes on some ISIS terrorists who were hiding in caves. Kills a lot of them. We're doing good. Sunday the 2nd, Trump says any pain for the tariffs will be worth it in the long run, because obviously China, Canada and Mexico are threatening to put Trump's tariffs back onto Trump, i.e. Put tariffs on stuff that is going over the border to their countries from America. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer says he won't need to choose between the EU and the USA, despite Trump hinting EU sanctions. Mexico agreed to send thousands of troops to the border to stop the drugs and the illegal aliens, which means that Donald Trump on Monday decided to put a month wait on the tariffs to Mexico. Then we had Tuesday the 4th of February. This is all Trump stuff. A convicted felon meets a war criminal. Oh, sorry, I mean Trump meets Benjamin Netanyahu. No, I was right the first time. He repeats that Palestinians must leave Gaza, as it is a demolition site. I wonder why. I wonder why it's a demolition site. Hey, Trump, you know, how much weapons did America send over there? They have a meeting, they have a meal. It's very scary. Wednesday the 5th, Trump again. Hi, Kim. Trump again says Gaza could be the Riviera of the Middle East, and the USA is going to take over Gaza. Condemnation from around the world, though Israel thinks it's a great idea. Palestinians, Trump says, must be moved to Egypt and Jordan, though Egypt and Jordan say that they don't want them, and the Democrats say this is the definition of ethnic cleansing. Now, if you watch my news programs from when the conflict in Gaza first started, a couple of in, I said ethnic cleansing, it's a land grab. This is all an excuse just to get the land and keep the Palestinians off. Obviously, I don't support Hamas, never supported Hamas, but I do support innocent children, women, and people who just want to get on with their lives. And Trump now is turned into, well, mini dictator, hasn't he? But for other countries. Meanwhile, Trump on the 6th, which is Thursday, which is today, has said Israel will hand over Gaza to the USA. So it's all sorted in Trump's head. Although who knows what's going on in Trump's head. So yeah, the biggest news of this week is that Trump is an absolute bellend. Who knew? Oh yeah, all of us. Anyway, let's not worry about that, shall we? Let's go back to what's happened in the rest of the world for this week, because that is also not great news, to be fair. We've had a repeat of horror in the UK. Where are we? There we are. So go back to Friday the 31st of January. 41 bodies have been recovered from the crash in Washington DC in the Potomac River. This is the helicopter and the passenger airliner that was coming in for landing that collided. I'd heard rumours, and I mentioned last week, that the helicopter might have been flying dark with no flashy lights, no nothing. But a new video that I've seen since proves categorically that there was flashy lights, etc. on it. Meanwhile, a small plane crashes in Philadelphia, USA. Saturday the 1st, the 4th swap of prisoners in Gaza and Israel, so things are moving on quite well with the ceasefire at the minute. And a driver of a car was killed after the plane crash in Philadelphia. 7 people dead in total, including a young girl who just had a life-saving operation, her mother and various other medical helpees on the plane. It was a medical plane. No reason given yet, or no reason discovered as to why the flight ended the way it did. Sunday the 2nd, Tony Martin, who was the farmer who famously shot a burglar on his farm, has died at the age of 80. He was asked a few years ago, did he ever think about what he did? And he says, not at all. I was defending my property. I think he went to prison for it because, as I've said before, there's defending your property and there's chasing someone down the street with a gun, and he did the latter. Monday the 3rd, tragedy as I mentioned earlier on. A 15-year-old boy stabbed inside a school in Sheffield. Another 15-year-old boy is arrested on suspicion of murder. Knife crime is horrendous at the moment in the UK. We've bemoaned America and the gun crime there, but knife crime is a pandemic here at the minute, and I don't understand how we're going to get rid of it, although there might be some breaking news about that. Daniel Khalif, he was the fit prisoner who escaped from a prison by hanging underneath a delivery lorry, and lots of women said he could have hidden in their house quite happily. He gets 14 years for spying for Iran. He hadn't been charged. Well, he'd been charged, and that's why he was in prison, but he hadn't had the trial. Anyway, the trial's ended, and he gets 14 years for spying against Iran. He's already been charged and given a sentence for the escape from prison. He was recovered a few days later on a canal canal walkway thing, towpath. Thank you. Tuesday the 4th, 10 dead in a shooting in Sweden. Now, it's an education facility. It's not a school, and yeah, horrific. And you think that Sweden, you wouldn't think of Sweden as being a place where that kind of thing would happen. Turns out it is. It's one of the gun capitals of Europe, Sweden. Shocking news. China adds to the trade war. They now impose 10% from USA and similar from USA to China. It's all very complicated. But trade wars generally are complicated. That's why they're called trade wars. A panel of medical experts say that the trial for Letby, the baby murderer, could and is a miscarriage of justice. They are saying that all the babies died of natural causes and it wasn't her who did it, even though very few babies, if any, died when she wasn't on duty. So we'll wait to see what happens when that comes through. The victim of the stabbing on Monday was named as Harvey, and a 15-year-old is still in custody, being questioned about the stabbing at the school. Wednesday, the 5th of February, the government announced to the Grenfell families, remember the tower block that caught fire a few years ago, 7 years ago now, that the Grenfell Tower itself will be demolished. Now, a lot of the families say that that's not right because although it's caked in, well, it's surrounded by scaffolding and awning, so you can't actually see the building. They want the building to remain until after criminal charges and trials have been brought to various people that they say are responsible for their loved ones dying. So again, we'll have to wait and see on that. I kind of agree with that, although I also think that a building like that, we need to do something with it. And they're on about replacing it with other buildings. I'm like, no, do like they've done in New York with the Twin Towers, and just leave it as a memorial to those who passed away. Angela Rayner, she says that 9 elections are being cancelled, local elections for local councils. So 9 councils that were having elections in May are no longer having elections in May due to borders being changed in a year or two. None of this makes sense. We're a democracy, and if the borders change, then what you do is we have an election when the borders change, but for the time being we carry on electing people. But of course this government is scared of losing, well, they're going to lose, aren't they? I mean, this government is not fit for purpose. So yeah, I don't even know what's going on anymore with this lot. The teen has been charged with murder for the stabbing in Sheffield of another teen, and appears in court in Sheffield, where the act is described as horrendous, and the young lad was stabbed in the heart twice with a hunting knife, we now find out. Tories say immigrants can only apply for citizenship and when they've been and lived in the UK for 15 years if you watch the BBC, or 10 years if you watch DB News. I think it's now 10 years. And also other caveats are they cannot be claiming benefits, they cannot be living in housing that's subsidised, and various other restrictions on them as well. Whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. There's also minimum wage, but they reckon it's going to be about £30,000. If you're not earning £30,000, you can't be a citizen. I know very many people who don't earn £30,000, so they get kicked out as well. I mean, I don't earn 30,000. I don't even earn 3,000. Well, I do, but not much more. Government review finds the Prevent Counter-Terrorism Programme prematurely closed the case 3 years ago on the murderer in Southport, the guy who stabbed those poor innocent girls and various other people as well. He'd been put in front of them many times, and basically they just said, that'll be alright. Let's not worry about it. Which is wrong, because obviously these people need to be dealt with at the time. So I was just watching the cat then. Thursday the 6th of February, that's today. Bank of England dropped the interest rates to 4.5% from 4.75%. But they halve the UK growth forecast, particularly with all the things coming in with the NI insurance, minimum wage going up and everything else. Keir Starmer says that nuclear will be prioritised in spending review. Now here's something you thought you'd never hear me say. I agree with Keir Starmer. Mind you, is it more he agrees with me? Because this is what I've been saying for years. Wind farms, complete waste of time. It's not windy all the time. So that's nonsense. Mind you, they're still better than solar farms in the UK when, as we've just gone through winter, 13 hours of the day, it's pitch black. In fact, more, it's pitch black. So, it's, yeah, the nuclear power stations, it's the only time you're going to get energy that's constant. Problem is, he might have gone too far the other way, because he's basically saying that you don't need planning permission for a nuclear power station. It can be a lot smaller. Now, I did mention years ago that Elon Musk had come up with these nuclear pods, and he was going to be dishing them out to in Africa and things like that. And one nuclear pod could basically power the whole of an African country, because obviously they don't use a lot of electricity. They would need more. As they use more electricity, you end up needing more electricity. It kind of goes like that. But anyway, we'll wait to see. A coroner has said that the SAS used lethal force which was not justified, as they shot and killed 4 IRA members back in the Troubles. And Swedish say the gunman who shot those people at the education facility was at another educational facility a few years ago, which was also targeted by a gunman in the past. But they still haven't found any reason as to why this gentleman has gone on the rampage. He also took his own life. So unfortunately, they won't be able to find out what went on. And that brings us to the news that is slightly more light-hearted, and we need some light-hearted news, because let's be honest, the news is depressing. So this is one I forgot to do, or if I didn't forget to do, it's still funny anyway. And this is in London, where we've now got overground routes named, which is basically bus routes. Just missed my mouth then. I know, you're like, how can you miss a mouth? Not that size. Well, there you go. So now they've got underground, overground, and then someone's written, if it doesn't make you immediately sing Wombling Free, are you even human? Surely it'd make more sense to have overground at the top and underground at the bottom, but underground, overground, yeah, Wombling Free. I called a Dale Top Cap, just noticed you popped in. Not a lot of chat going on today, but this is the new time slot for this, and I think other people haven't got used to it either yet. Al Capone is the reason milk has expiration dates on it. Al Capone's influence reached beyond crime. He reportedly pushed for expiration dates on milk after a relative fell ill from spoiled dairy products. But was it really about public safety, or was it just a savvy business move? With prohibition ending, Capone saw milk distribution as a lucrative new venture, even acquiring a dairy business to control the supply chain. Did he shape food safety, or was it all about profit? It's going to be all about profit with Al Capone, because yeah, that's what he was about. But yeah, expiration dates on food was Al Capone's idea. Who knew? That's one to remember if you ever go to a pub quiz. Instructions for some dog shampoo. Shake well before use. In brackets, the bottle, not the dog. It's like, yeah, no poo Sherlock. AI. Tom was the first guy to lose his job because of AI, as in Tom and Jerry, and it's the episode with the robot cat in it. Then we've got Just 24 hours before the deadly collision at Reagan Airport, another flight aborted landing due to a helicopter in its path. So it wasn't the first time that had happened, it was the second time in a couple of weeks. A clue to identify a mystery 83.4 million euro millions winner as a man walks into a Barnsley post office branch and pays his gas bill in full. Yep, that's the old saying. If I win the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there may be signs. I pay my gas bill in full. Congratulations to Alan Carr, who has been seen giving birth to one born every minute. And there's a picture there of a lady who, unfortunately for her, looks remarkably like Alan Carr. Burning Tesla batteries delay rescue efforts in fatal Torrance crash. A 2025 Tesla Model Y crashed into a traffic signal pole in Torrance, causing a deadly fire fueled by the vehicle's lithium-ion batteries. The intense flames hindered first responders' rescue efforts, leaving the driver, who remains identified, dead at the scene. The fire department struggled to control the blaze due to complications from the battery fire. The crash is under investigation and authorities are seeking public assistance. Now again, if you go back many months at these things, you'll have seen that I asked the question, what would happen if there was a multi-car pile-up of electric powered vehicles on a motorway? And the answer is more people would die and the fire would probably burn for days. Electric cars are not the future. In 2008, Nebraska implemented a law allowing parents to drop off unwanted newborns at safe havens. The law did not specify an age limit, resulting into nearly all the abandoned children being over 10 years old, with some as old as 17. So, yeah, they come up with this brilliant idea, and it just people decided to get rid of their troublesome kids rather than unwanted newborn babies. When no means yes. In 1983, a fan was denied an autograph but got Steve Jobs' signature instead. In 1983, a fan asked Steve Jobs, who worked at Apple Computers, for an autograph. His response, a typed letter politely refusing, ironically signed at the bottom. Was it a witty reminder of Jobs' humour and unique charm? So we've got the letter, 1983. Dear M. Varon even, I am honoured that you have written, but I'm afraid I don't sign autographs. Sincerely, Steve Jobs. I think that was deliberate and very, very funny. I think other people have done it as well, but yeah, Steve Jobs. Road signs written by Scousers. And there's a road sign there warning you of queues ahead because of traffic lights. But it goes, queues lag. Because someone's ripped off the L and the Y of it. Beer prices increase kicks in today in Australia, meaning a pint could cost up to 15 Australian dollars. Buying a beer at the pub will become more expensive. You see, we keep going on about Labour and the Tories for that matter, putting up prices and taxing beer and everything else, but it's happening in Australia, which has got no links whatsoever to England. Buying a beer in a pub will become more expensive from today, when this was published. The federal government's latest 6-monthly tax hike takes effect. Brewers Association of Australia CEO John Preston says the increase in tax will make it impossible for Aussies to enjoy a cold one at an affordable price, which may see a pint of beer rise to about 15 Australian dollars, which is still cheaper than ours, because 15 Australian dollars, as you all know, is about £4.10. Doctors call for Medicare overhaul to modernise systems. Does this sound familiar? Australia's top doctors are calling for a mammoth overhaul of the out-of-date Medicare system. All you need to do is put NHS where it says Medicare and you've got the same story. Announcing its modernised Medicare proposal to address critical issues in healthcare and general practice across the country. The Australian Medical Association is calling upon Labor and the opposition to modernise the current Medicare system, which came into effect in the 1980s, with major investment and reform. This is Australia, yet they're pretty much repeating everything that we're talking about. A leave immediate warning issued in the Grampians in Australia. Residents in Victoria South West have been urged to evacuate their homes after multiple fires rage out of control amid heat wave conditions. Victoria Emergency has issued a leave immediately message to people living in Miranatwa, where the fire remains high across most of the states. Fire danger, with temperatures expected to soar in the 40s today. So yeah, that is scorchio. Quite literally. Quite literally. Oh, I'm online. Who knew? Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm online. That's brilliant. Well done. Been online for ages, but you know, let's just go with it, shall we? I do love this thing. Could the Snake Pass close 2 cars? The Snake Pass is regarded as one of the most scenic driving roads in the UK and frequently features in traffic reports, mainly because it closes so often, usually for snow. It says there, the road often closes in winter due to ice and snow, making it too dangerous to drive along. Landslides are becoming so frequent that Derbyshire County Council has warned it cannot afford to keep repairing the road and has asked for the government to help in repair costs. And now rumours that they're building a bypass instead, which will just go straight over the top, I would imagine. Now, when I first started driving, when I was 21, I loved the Snake Pass. I thought it was brilliant. I used to drive along it at night time, about 10 o'clock onwards, where it was pretty quiet, with my Ford Escort Mark II doing 80, 90 miles an hour around the corners and everything. 756. Yeah, I was joking T. But it's a good guess. But they are basically saying that the Snake Pass now, because of the expense of keeping it up and running, they are going to have to consider closing it to traffic, and therefore basically giving it back to nature. Although cyclists are saying they want to use it, but you won't be able to cycle up there. Jesus, it's like that, and it's bendy as hell. So yeah, it'd be an interesting one, but it's very similar to the one at Mamtor, also in the Peak District, which I filmed on one of my Peak Districts. Let's walk around, let's look at things, and we looked at Mamtor, and that was a road that was continually slipping due to it being built completely the wrong place. You've got bits of the road that are like 6-10 foot apart from the landslides and everything. So yeah, there's a lot going on around that area with this kind of road structure. But yeah, I used to love driving along it at like I say, 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I had 2 massive spotlights on my Ford Escort Mark II, and so you could see for miles if anyone was coming the opposite direction. So yeah, I was doing corner cutting and everything. It was brilliant. I loved it, and I nearly died on this actual where this bit is here. This is just after the summit, and it's a straight bit of road that then goes to a bend. I came over the summit. It was daytime, and I was doing about 60, 70 miles an hour over the summit, and there's a camper van, an RV van. It wasn't even a camper van, it was an RV van on my side of the road, overtaking a tractor. And I ended up going on the grass on the left there on the picture, somehow past the RV, and got back on the road again, and needed a change of underwear, which is why I only then drove on it at night time, because I could see things coming in the opposite direction and drive accordingly. But yeah, it was funny in the fact, looking back at it now, there was an elderly man driving this RV, and he was like that looking at me, and his wife was sat next to him, and she was like that looking as well, as I whizzed past and then got back on the road again. But yeah, you don't overtake a vehicle at the brow of a hill, just before the brow of a hill. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But yeah, that's one time I nearly died. Obviously I didn't, because I'm here now. Talking about something that's died, Greater Manchester has scrapped its controversial clean air zone charges, instead investing 86 million in green transport solutions. New zero emission buses, cleaner taxis and traffic measures aim to improve air quality without charging drivers. Cameras are still up though, and they're still active. So are we going to end up with pay per mile just for paying road tax? I would imagine so. Concrete can self-heal when exposed to nuclear radiation, finds a study. You're like, okay then. There was a later thing on about roads repairing themselves if you put certain additives into the tarmac, but it wouldn't. It just, yeah, no, be sensible. This is something I've noted for a long while. In the 2000s and before, your window screen was always covered in bugs. Um, and nowadays, very rarely you get bugs on your window screen, and that's because there are less bugs flying around, which is bad. We need more bugs, although killing them by window screen squashing is probably not the best way to deal with the situation. But I've noticed considerably less and fewer bugs on the window screen, and number plate for that matter. I mean, there was the late Victoria Wood. One of her jokes was her a car broke down, and the recovery vehicle came out and was going to take the car away, and she said, "Oh, what about my insect collection?" And the guy said, "Oh, where's that? On the back seat in the boot?" She went, "No, on my front number plate." But that joke wouldn't work anymore because you don't get them on your front number plate. Now, one thing I've learnt is that young people under the age of 25 cannot write properly. They are very, very scruffy at writing, mainly because they don't write very often. They won't be long before they won't even know what this is. So, if you get a job somewhere where writing is quite important, it's probably best to remember you have to space out, letters, because otherwise this faux pas could occur. Clint ordered a whatever the hell that is, and they wrote his name on it, but they didn't space the letters out, and it basically spelt Keir Starmer. Oh no, sorry, Elon Musk. No, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu. No, it's Keir Starmer. Jackie Chan's father was a spy and his mother was a drug dealer. They met through an arrest. Hong Kong superstar Jackie Chan, was already an adult when he discovered that his father was a former spy and his mother was a drug dealer. The revelation happened during the production of the 2003 documentary Traces of the Dragon, Jackie Chan and His Lost Family, which directed by Mabel Chung, according to The Guardian. While Jackie Chan was visiting his father, Charles Chan, in Australia, the action star legend learned that his two brothers living in China, his father, he had two brothers living in China, and his father also revealed that he was once a nationalist spy and gangland boss with his mother. His mother was Li Chan, was an opium dealer and a legendary gambler in Shanghai. So Jackie Chan turned out well, even though in that picture he's dressed as a sailor, a fisherman. Well, there you go. Jaden Smith attends the Grammys wearing a castle on his head. What's he called? What's his name now? Kanye West. Yay. His new wife attended in a dress that was completely see-through and no underwear. And I mean completely see-through and I mean no underwear. Angela Rayner. Picture there of Angela Rayner. Or Leslie from Benidorm, but no, Angela Rayner. Signals from Earth now take 23 hours and 9 minutes to reach Voyager 1. NASA's Voyager 1 probe has crossed the mark of 25 billion kilometres from Earth. And I have to be honest, 23 hours and 9 minutes for signals to come backwards and forwards between that, I think is actually quite quick. 23 billion miles. That's 25 billion miles. That's a lot of miles. Kilometres even. Oh, God. There's a picture there of a wildlife photographer, and he's bled on the floor in Africa by the looks of things with a massive camouflaged lens on his camera, and he's concentrating on something, and right next to him, laid next to him, is a cheetah. It's got a massive tag on it, so it's obviously familiar with humans, and it's kind of trying to look in the camera to see what the guy's looking at. Maybe his next meal. Who knows? But it's a cute picture anyway. On this day, 1977, Fleetwood Mac released their 11th album, Rumours, which was famous for having the song The Chain on it, which was used by the BBC as the theme tune to F1. back in the day with Murray Walker and all that. You know, the dum down 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 down. There's a picture there of the cast of Emmerdale, obviously, because why not? In the book, it's quoted, he sliced some white bread. The Netflix do adaptation, he sliced in brown bread. And that's the joke, because that's what Netflix do with everything apparently. They just change it so it fits in with woke society. I'm glad I don't have Netflix. Nice to see a bullseye winner still using his boat, and a picture there of a boat being towed by an electric scooter, as in the ones that go around shopping centres and everything. The Amish Powerball is up to 4 dozen eggs. They notoriously don't use money. So yeah, the 4 dozen eggs in the lottery, can't wait. Climate activists targeted the Mona Lisa at the Louvre on Sunday, throwing soup at Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece. The protesters belong to the environmental group We Are Absolute Fucking Idiots. The orange concoction splattered across the bulletproof glass, protecting the famous painting, but caused no damage to it. The two were arrested and hopefully hung, drawn and quartered, just for being idiots. An actual picture of the correct group. On this day in 1981, Adam and the Ants started a 10-week run at #1 with their classic album King of the Wild Frontier, which I didn't buy. I bought the singles, so I bought Ant Music, Stand and Deliver, Kings of the Wild Frontier, what was the other one? Prince Charming, but all them. Didn't buy the album. The album got traded into the shop, and I was like, oh, never bought this. Played it. It's absolutely dreadful. An awful album, apart from the singles, which are all brilliant. The rest of it is him just going, hey, 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 like that. It's just absolute nonsense. So I'm glad I didn't buy it at the time. I kept following Adam Ant, his solo career as well. Desperate but Not Serious, Friend of Foe, Puss in Boots, all that kind of stuff. Goody Two Shoes. He's still going strong now, but he's kind of turned into a bit of a sculptor and artist, I think. In the UK right now, when this picture was taken, a train is delayed as a cat is sitting on the roof and refusing to come down. And there's a picture of an Avanti West Coast train with a cat just doing a loaf impression on top of the train. A sign outside a pub, 3D Tinder with an arrow drawn, which is negating or trying to get around the fact that now people don't meet in public anymore. Most people and relationships start online. Going back to Jaden Smith, and basically someone's modified the Pursuit of Happiness cover with a picture of Jaden Smith with his castle on his head, and they've renamed it The Pursuit of Attention. Which, very accurate indeed. This is very clever as well. Sky Comedy, 9:30 a.m. Groundhog Day, the movie, 1993. 11:15 Groundhog Day, 1993. 1 p.m. Groundhog Day, 1993. 2:45 Groundhog Day, 1993. 4:30 Groundhog Day, 1993. 6:15 Groundhog Day, 1993. 8 o'clock Groundhog Day, 1993. Obnoxious TV weatherman Bill Murray is made to relive the same day over and over again until he becomes a better person. 9:45 Groundhog Day, 1993. 11:30 Groundhog Day, 1993. And 3 o'clock in the morning, 1:15 in the morning, Groundhog Day, 1993. And 3 o'clock in the morning, Groundhog Day, 1993. Genius. And yeah, I wonder how many people actually sat and watched that over and over and over again. Of course, you wouldn't need a remote, would you? But what did remote controls look like back in the 70s? Well, here's a rare photo of a remote control from the 1970s, and it's a little boy pressing the buttons on the TV because, well, we were all remote controls when we were kids back in the 1970s, especially when you're not on the floor or on the floor like watching your telly, and then you get a shout, put ITV on. You just go and put ITV on. Until recently, I never figured this, but I used to watch Sliders, It was an American science fiction fantasy television series created by Robert K. Weiss and Tracy Torm, and broadcast for 88 episodes over 5 seasons from March 1995 to December 1999. It starred Jerry O'Connell, Cleveland Derricks, Sabrina Lloyd, John Rhys Davis, which is a guy with a beard, Carrie Wutherer, Charlie O'Connell, Robert Floyd, and Tembi Locke. Now, the guy in the picture with the beard, he passed away about halfway through the series, so obviously he had to be written out. But the premise of Sliders was they'd built this thing that took them through different portals into different worlds, multiple realities, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And Jerry Connell, the young guy there with the curtains, was always taking his top off because he was quite fit, which is like, okay then, fair enough, go on, carry on. What I didn't realise was that he was the fat kid in Stand By Me. So I'm like, okay then, fair enough, you were the fat kid in Stand By Me, and you've worked hard to get your body like that. Yeah, I take your top off all the time. But yeah, I never realised it was the same person until fairly recently. I say fairly recently, I mean literally a couple of years ago, if that. The Traitors, one of my favourite shows of all time at the moment, well, currently favourite shows anyway, is officially the most watched reality show in the UK. Series 3 average was 9.2 million viewers per episode, which is amazing considering all the streaming services and everything now. Overtaking ITV's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here and BBC's Strictly Come Dancing. And it's a brilliant, brilliant show. It's well put together. And I'm not a fan of Claudia Winkleman at all. Can't stand her. But she's brilliant in that. And I'm about to watch the American version of it, which has celebrities in it that I've never heard of. But it doesn't really matter because I've never heard of any of these people either because it's just Joe Public. But it was a really, really good show. So yeah, if you've never watched Traitors, give it a go. Don't worry, Angela, you're okay. Welcome. It's well good. Yeah, just watch it from season 1 and all that. Jellyfish have no heart, but they don't know it because they have no brain either. I mean, how they function, God knows. He's not telling me though. The world divided into 4 equal parts. So there's around about 8 billion people on the planet. So if you divide the countries up into 2 billion people, you've got basically China, which has got 2 billion people living in it, and Japan as well, and North Korea and South Korea. But yeah, basically Asia's got 2 billion people in it. India has got 2 people living in India. For Africa to have 2 billion people, you've got to chuck in Australia, New Zealand, and the islands in between Australia and Asia. And the rest of the world, which is basically Russia, Europe, South America, North America, Canada, and all that, Iceland, Greenland, you need to add all them together to make the other 2 billion. So you can see where the majority of the population of. And I do think that's quite scary when you look at a picture like that. Meanwhile, dogs. 10,000 Australian dollar reward for a missing dog. A New South Wales woman is offering 10,000 Australian dollars to find her missing Pomeranian and Japanese Spitz cross Frankie. Abby Livingston said her partner, her and her partner were driving from their camping trip in Mystery Bay on New South Wales coast back to their home in Norway and pulled over to switch drivers at Bateman's Bay where Frankie disappeared. Da, da, da. But a 10,000 Australian dollar reward means about 120 quid. I'll sooner keep the dog, to be fair. This is scary. Nuclear weapon could be used to defend Earth from asteroid 2024 YR4, astronomer says. One astronomer, one expert. And I replied when someone posted this at me, oh God, have they never played Asteroids? And Asteroids, very, very old arcade game where initially you had these chunky shapes coming at you and you'd have a little spaceship, tiny little spaceship, you shoot the spaceship and the asteroid would divide into three smaller shapes. You shoot them, they divide into three more smaller shapes. You shoot them, they divide into more smaller shapes, and then you shoot them, and finally they're gone. So we've got one asteroid coming towards us. So if we nuke it, that basically means we get 1 billion asteroids coming towards us. I mean, genius. Said no one ever. Just these scientists, they do scare me. Keir Starmer, have I got news for you? This was from yesterday. Keir Starmer is cutting red tape to make it easier and quicker to build nuclear power plants. Great news for people who've been waiting years for a second series of Chernobyl. Yeah, the thing is that nuclear has come a long way since an outdated... I mean, you've got to remember Chernobyl was 40 years ago, and that power station was outdated even then. So yeah, nuclear power stations these days are more efficient, safer and everything. And 100% I agree that we need more power stations. I don't want them in my backyard necessarily, but we'll we'll go with it. James Gracie posted, I finally got a bricklaying apprenticeship. Chris Walden replied, doing what, mate? James replied, bricklaying. So simple, but made me chuckle. I like things like that, just silly. One thing I don't like is this. P. Diddy rushed to hospital after being whisked out of cell in the middle of the night. I've not heard any more since, but P. Diddy, alleged facing charges of paedophilia, human trafficking, rape, etc., is being held in prison in America and got rushed to hospital. Not heard anything since, so I assume that he got taken back to hospital, and that was that. Proof of alien life found at location of Britain's most famous UFO incidents. A British filmmaker who claimed his documentary The British Roswell will finally deliver the evidence that mankind is not alone, now says he's found proof of aliens in Rendlesham Forest. Now if that's it, I'd say that's a seating arrangement from a bridge in... where is it? It's not Hull. Where is it? It might be Hull. Might be Hull actually, because I've seen that. Filmed it. We'll walk around a Hull. Russia slaps Google with a fine bigger than the world's entire wealth combined. So we've already looked at the population of the world being split into 2 billions. Well, Russia is demanding 15 triple zero 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 pounds. I don't know why pounds. From Google for blocking its YouTube accounts. This is a number so large it dwarfs the GDP of the entire planet. So I'm sure Google can afford it, to be fair. Maybe Russia just wants to get more, pay for more weapons for its illegal war in Ukraine, which is still going on. Trump, so you get your finger out your arse, mate. Google Maps, most wild action shots from a naked man in a car boot to a murder clue. Google Street View cameras, cars have driven 100 million miles and snapped 220 billion pics, so it's to be expected it will reveal some bizarre images. And yeah, there's a picture there of a naked man, who looks like he's a naked man anyway, in the boot of a car. No explanation given, obviously. Now, whether he saw the Google car coming, because they are quite obvious, and thought, I know what I'll do, I'll park my car up, take my clothes off and get in the boot, and it'll take a picture of me, and then that'll be there for the rest of the family to see forever. Some UK households may soon be banned from having a pet cat in a strange new plan. Where's this? Scotland, obviously. The SNP is considering banning domestic cats from going outside in order to protect wildlife. Under new proposals, Scottish owners could be ordered to keep their cats indoors, which is basically cruelty to cats. But isn't that what the governments want us all to do? Remain indoors at all times, forever. Son of famous explorer accuses neighbours of kidnapping his beavers. The son of famous explorer Robin Hanbury Tennyson, me neither, has accused his neighbours of kidnapping his beavers. Sigourney and Jean-Claude Merlin, the son, claims they kept his animals after they escaped. Well, maybe you should look after your beavers better. That's all I can say. Aliens. ET has already phoned home with messages in own language on side of UFOs. Former counterintelligence special agent Luis Andelazis is certain that extraterrestrial beings are trying to contact us by writing messages to us in their own language on the side of UFOs. Bullshit, I say. What do you say? Archaeologists pull out poisoned 7,000-year-old arrow head from an animal corpse. So archaeologists pull out a poisoned 7,000-year-old arrowhead from an animal corpse they found. The oldest concoction of poisons ever found has been discovered in an animal corpse, as experts have said. The application of poison to weapons signalled an evolutionary advancement, and if it was 7,000 years ago, that's quite impressive, to be fair. Or it might just be the fact that, you know, it's been in the head of something for 7,000 years and has got contaminated. Oh. The world's oldest woman dies, aged 122, as families share secret to living long life. Lin Shimu lived for 122 years and 197 days and witnessed 2 world wars, 2 pandemics, and the rollout of electricity into houses. His youngest son, 77, reveals her secret to long life: not dying. Sadly, she looks like the baddie out of Terrorhawks. But she'll remember Terrorhawks. Maybe that's the look she was going for. US military weapon that hits missiles at speed of light and melts them is debuted. Here's a look at crazy new US military laser weapon that strikes enemy ships at the speed of light. The Hilo system is designed to both dazzle, disrupt intelligence, and also destroy. So basically lasers. Yeah, I can't see it myself because it's not powerful enough to get over here. A new deadly mystery virus could be next pandemic and is threatening mankind. Again, a new virus set to be part of the Henipavirus family alongside deadly Nipah and Hendra viruses can cause spine and brain inflammation, kidney and liver damage, and breathing problems as well. So nothing to worry about there, said no one. A man shot dead after telling friend he could dodge a bullet. His pal is arrested. Ashton Mann, 23, is facing charges including felony manslaughter after he was arrested for allegedly shooting his friend in the chest. His mate apparently said he could dodge a bullet. Apparently not. I mean, why would you shoot me? Oh, God. All American Airlines plane crash victims recovered from the river following the crash. So that's breaking news. And good news in a way, that at least they found all the bodies now. And would you try this? Chicken grown entirely in lab hits UK shelves in world first. The revolutionary chick bites, which boffins claim have the health benefits of regular chicken, are only available at one location for now, but should soon be coming to a shop near you. Would you buy cultured meat? It says there it's cruelty free. Well, that's because there's no animals involved. It's safe. Well, we don't know that. It's healthy. We don't know that. Environmentally friendly. Well, it's probably more environmentally friendly than when they do vegetarian sausages and make it look and taste like chicken, which it doesn't, but spend a lot of energy doing that. Just eat, if you want to be vegetarian or vegan, just eat bloody peas and chew on the pod. I used to chew on the pod when I was a kid because you get more flavour out of the pod. I don't anymore now because they're dirty and they come from foreign countries and I know better. But when I was a kid, they were tasty, the pods. Obviously, you didn't swallow them; you just ate the crunchy bit, but you didn't eat the stringy bit. But yeah, would you buy cultured meat like that? Because I know damn well I would not. And that brings us, ironically, to breaking news. Breaking news, breaking news. It's breaking news. So what's been going on in the world while I've been going on about what's going on in the world? Keep up. Keir Starmer wants to watch Rachel Reeves in a bombshell reshuffle. Well, yeah, he needs to axe himself as well, though. Homebase is closing 33 stores. Antivirus is spreading in the UK, alarming symptoms and those at risk explained. Why Tesla sales have plummeted across the world. I can't think why that would be. I just scratching my nose then. Davina McCall says, "Why wait until you're dying?" She makes a plea to people in their 30s after a brain operation. So that's good to hear she's back up and again. Teacher with long COVID fined for too much time off and wins a £42,000 payout. Music producer behind huge noughties hits has died, age 54. That's no age. Guardian view on England's cancelled elections, hardly a vote of confidence. It's all about football, don't care about that. Political earthquake as allegedly Tories hold top secret talks on mergers with Farge's Reform UK. Keir Starmer wants... Oh yeah, we've done that one. UK snow map revealed. Exact time major blizzards will blast major cities. Tomorrow. Whoa. McDonald's accused of tough tactics in fight with councils over new branches. They need to sort out their managers first, don't they? Nigel Farage begs supporters, give me £20 as Reform builds election war chest. Transport Secretary puts spades in the ground for tram extension in London. No room for reality as Yvette Cooper takes Nick Ferrari's phone in a stride. So it's just bullshits about everything. House building plunges to lowest in the year. A setback for Angela Rayner. You couldn't write this stuff, could you? Labour set an easy trap for Kemi Badenoch, and she's walking straight into it. Russian economy on the verge of meltdown. A shopping malls face bankruptcy. Entry hospital is going to be demolished and rebuilt. Bank of England, we've done that one. Fast food chain Americans prefer to KFC, opening 10 UK branches. Want to go there? I don't know what it is though. I'm not clicking on it. Lancashire County Council tax bill set to increase by maximum amount. Israel leans hard on Trump plan for Gaza. Has anyone asked its people? Obviously not. King's Cross is to remove trains from the departure board 3 minutes before they leave. Does that stop people panicking? Picture the golden pager given to Trump by Netanyahu. Wow, would you take a pager off Trump after what they did to Hamas with the pagers? Interest rate cut, but economic growth forecast slashed in blow to Chancellor. Pardon me. Guatemala that bay is rapidly readied in response to Trump deportation plans. Temperatures in UK set to plummet to -7 as UK health alerts are issued. So that is all the news that is occurring whilst I've been talking about the news that is occurring, which is shockingly occurring, or is it not? So that is it. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. A lot quieter at the moment while people get used to the new time, but it suits me better. I mean, a lot better than the Sunday one, which was an absolute pain in the bum to do. This is a lot more relaxed, a lot more relaxing. So a big shout out to Kim Braid, who was the first on, Calderdale, Top Cat, Angela O'Kane, T as well. Thank you for your input. And yeah, how long have we been on for? We've been on for just short of an hour, which is perfect. That's what I wanted to get it to, an hour. So we're bang on the money. So I will say, oh, you're all right. You can watch it back. Yeah, I'm joking. You don't have to. So I'm going to be saying, be seeing you, and I will see you all again next time. Until then, thank you for watching. And oh, hang on, we've got breaking news. The fast food place is called Slim Chicken. Oh, definitely need to find a Slim Chicken. There's a couple of places I need to find as well for more reviews. It's getting lighter. I can do more stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Indeed, you still are. And I will see you next time. Until then, bye. Cat normally comes in at this point. And she's got a new favourite box, so she's not coming in.